Welcome back, everyone, to the conclusion, the back nine of round 3 of the 2020 Down East Players Cup presented by Basket Bashers. Brian Earhart coming at you one more time with Nathan Queen walking us through the course. It's been kind of a up and down round that we've seen so far.
Yeah, a lot of not necessarily lead changes, but big swings going on with bogeys and double bogeys from the 2 leaders originally, and then some clean rounds from 3rd and 4th place coming in. So lots of momentum swings. Ricky's got 6 birdies in a row after a double birdie. We're moving into a stretch of par 4s and a par 5 here, so lots of action coming up.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Ricky Wysocki, as you can see, no pars yet in a bogey, double bogey on holes 2 and 3 to start the round. You thought it was turning into a ball game, but we had noted that he got 6 birdies in a row afterwards and has the momentum right now. We move into hole number 10, par 4, 514 feet. Not as easy as you might think.
No, even though it's only 514 feet, there's not a great way to get super far down the fairway. It's a pretty good placement shot. If you skip off too far to the left or end up fading off to the right too much off of this tee shot, then you don't have a great angle into the basket.
Exactly. And here's Ricky, like you had mentioned, placement is huge here. Ricky's going with a rock, it looks like.
And that's a great shot there.
Yeah.
He hit the gap. He's got a straight look towards the basket with only a tree or two to maneuver around. I'm going back to that star TL3 that I had, going a little more aggressive.
Wow, what a line. Late flip, still got it to come back on Heiser.
Yeah, I usually throw a Wraith here, and something in my head told me to disc down, and that's the best shot I've thrown on the hole before, so.
I'm going to make a special note about this nuke that Yuli's throwing. Look how flippy this thing is. I think he was trying to throw a roller. This was my disc, and I lost it because I lost it in Arizona, and there was a rattlesnake about 2 feet from my disc, and I left it there. 7 years later, I get a call back, and that disc gets returned to me, and it's mangled beyond belief, and it was perfect for Yuli's bag.
Yeah, I saw him throw it a few times, and he loves that flippy shot. Germ with a good stand-up shot there.
Definitely.
Cool story, though, to hear that 7 years later you were able to get a disc back.
And somehow, you know, one man's trash is another man's treasure. And Yuli going with kind of an aggressive flick, puts himself to about circle 2.
Yeah, sneaks in between a couple trees to get a little further. A little bit low, though, and that grass ate it up pretty quick.
Yeah.
After Ricky's great drive, he's got a pretty open look out to the basket. You can hear that wind picking up a little bit, and the basket is in the open, so it's pretty windy out there.
Yeah, Ricky pulls his shot a little bit to the right. He's going to be about circle's edge as well with that gusting wind, as you can see.
And like I said, just skipping off a little bit to the left here. He has to do a little more touch that he wants, and that wind just packs it down once it catches the top of the disc.
And you, CTP here, wide open, going with that AVR X3?
Yeah, AVR X3. Anytime there's some wind going on, I can put enough on it to trust it. It's going to go straight. I left myself a tailwind there. Even though it's 15 feet, I'm still thinking about that.
Always thinking about where to put that approach shot in the wind.
And wind, you can just see it's swirling out here. He put that up because he thought it would drop, and it just got held up in the air. So after seeing that, you think he's got a headwind going on here. Yuli's just stayed up in the air.
Wow, he actually gave it a decent run. He saw the headwind and tried kind of putting underneath the wind there.
And gave it the right height. He just kind of pulled it off to the right. And didn't catch too much change. He'll have a little bit of a tester coming back as well. And Ricky having to deal with some trees along with the wind kind of pulls it off to the right.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Germ.
It must have felt nice to be sitting right next to the basket for birdie here.
Yeah, watching all this, I was still wanting to be a few feet closer.
Yuli's going to tap in his par. And a really rough miss from Germ.
Yeah, you hear him say right there it's his third straight headwind, so he was putting into a headwind on both of those putts there with the wind swirling around here. He's trying to figure out what in the world to do. It's such a hard situation to putt.
He's making the crowd laugh here. He's got to take his time and put this in the basket. Nailed it.
Yeah, able to get his third putt in. Takes, unfortunately, a bogey on the hole. Rick tapping in for his par after 2 pretty good shots as well.
Like you said, you were hoping for an even closer putt on that one, but luckily you tapped it in for the birdie. You moved to 23 under par. It's still definitely a tight race here. 4-stroke lead for Ricky. Hole number 11. What do you think about this hole?
Yeah, 558 feet, another one of those placement shots. The drone is flying a little further left. You want to land right of where it was at right there before you enter this gap that has not necessarily a low ceiling, but once you bring that wall into play, it makes the ceiling feel a lot lower. So placement shot off the tee. If you don't land with a straight look at the basket, it's hard to get over that wall.
And that looks like some sort of halo mold. Is that a destroyer?
It's a Wraith.
Okay.
Halo Wraith out of me. That's a little bit too much flare. I still may have a look to get up there, but it is a little further right than the ideal place.
Ricky saws the forehand off. You could hear right away he did not like it. Very fortunate kick back to the middle of the fairway.
Yeah, fortunate to stay out of the woods in there where he'd certainly have to pitch out. He'll still have a look to, if he wants to be aggressive, he could try to get up there from there.
And I finally figured out, from the glare on the screen, I found out what that gold disc is. It's an old 2012 Worlds TI nuke. One of the original TI nukes that he is throwing.
Looks like it still had plenty of stability to
yes,
it. And
it did.
Didn't quite get that turn up that he was looking for, and Germs put it in a pretty good spot there. I think that's about where you want to be at. So Ricky not able to get aggressive from where he's at. He's throwing up to get into the gap and maybe have a long look over that wall for a birdie.
Paul trying to go with the get out of jail free card, Avenger SS. And that did not work out as planned. Here's Germ with a solid look at the basket.
And catches that last tree once he makes it over the wall, but he is inside the circle and has a great look for birdie. I think I've got a Star Gator in my hand here. Going to be trying to go fast on a hyzer. And I just squeak it over the wall, and I end up a foot or two in front of Germ right there. So happy with that. Have a look for birdie.
Yuli's been finding himself in these types of situations all round.
And if he hadn't caught that last tree, then he was going to actually be able to save his par, I believe. He'll still have a look, but that was
an easy look.
Great scramble shot from where he was at, and unfortunate to catch that last tree. Ricky for the long birdie.
And I love the play. He knew exactly what he was doing there. He wanted to play left of the wall, give himself some sort of long look, even if he was out of position.
And Yuli putting uphill. Gave it a good bid. He got it high enough. He definitely wanted to save that par.
Germ with a solid putt for birdie.
Yeah, putting it where you want to land. Getting the upshot up there. Playing the hole how it's supposed to be played. Matching the basket with my shirt and my socks here.
Perfect outfit for the birdie. And you're just continuing to keep that momentum going. Just solid play in a lot of these holes. You're not getting in too much trouble.
Yeah, and that's the key pretty much anywhere in the woods. If you can stay out of trouble, then you're going to have your chances, and you just got to take advantage of them.
Exactly. Ricky's going to tap in his par. And you're slowly closing the gap. You are now within 3 strokes of the leader. And we move into hole number 12, par 5, 863 feet.
Yeah, OB down the right side and left side off of the tee. Brand new tee area here. Once you get to the first landing zone, which is ideally just past the short pad, you have another kind of tunnel shot out into the open with OB down the left, and if you push it too long, it's OB as well.
This is not a big gap off the tee either.
No, and I decided the area that I teed off from on the ground right there was not part of the tee pad before, and since the tee pad they have back there can get a little slippery, they opened that area up, and I actually slipped because I teed off on the ground.
Oh, no.
So Germ with a great shot, though. He puts it up there exactly where you want to be at. He'll have a great look to get in there for his third shot.
Ricky going big high turnover.
Yeah, Ricky actually slipped here too, and it didn't really matter. He's a little bit on the edge, but that's a fantastic shot with a rock.
And this is the shot that Yuli dreams of throwing.
And this is turning just a bit early. He'll have his footing's a little tougher there. I don't think he's dealing with that tree too much. And I did go out of bounds, so this is the drop zone from the middle tee pad on the hole. There's a chance that you can save the par from here. I get a pretty good rip on it. I wanted it to go out a little bit straighter. Hopefully if the camera would pan left right there, you see the fairway down, and I've pinched myself off inside just a little bit.
And after Yuli kind of going with a safer tee shot than I thought he was going with, he is going to be off to the right a little bit. Solid straddle flick. Puts him right in position.
Yeah, that's a smart play from there, not going for too much. He'll be able to try to get into that next gap to pitch up for his par from there. Ricky going to go aggressive, try to get around the corner. And he's sawed it off early as well. You want to be really about 50 foot further than that off to the right. Or left of where they are now, excuse me.
And it looks like Germ has the play.
Yeah, this is looking great out of Germ.
Yeah, and that's good for him being able to step out for the forehand. He might even be able to jump putt from there.
And rather than playing the traditional fairway, Yuli's going way high, trying to get up over and still possibly salvage a birdie. He ends up pretty deep in the woods over there. He's kind of close to the basket, but it's pretty thick. That's not a part that they've cleaned out. It's not usually where somebody ends up at.
Ricky going with a beautiful patent pending turnover, and he's going to be within circle one, it looks like.
Yeah, so after that, I asked if I could borrow Ricky's right hand. He told me no, so here I am trying to throw a sidearm. Not the usual thing for me. And it had the right flight, I just didn't turn it enough, or I didn't quite hit the line. I still don't really know.
And Germ is just going to throw a long, it might be kind of a horseshoe-style jump putt. Kind of from the right side. And that's going to be just fine.
Yeah, no problem there. Should have a easy birdie tap in. And Yuli hitting first available there. He will now be pitching out to try to save a bogey, I believe.
Oh, no.
Catches another early tree and leaves him outside of the circle. Have a circle 2 look now. This is to try to save my par. Small little window here. Oh, it felt good out of my hand and just caught that little leaf. You didn't see it, but it hit that tree and rolled to probably 25 or 30 feet as well. And Yuli just kind of falling apart a little bit.
Yeah, that is a rough number to take on the par 5.
So after that bit of a roll, this is my bogey putt. which is not what you want as well. You never want a bogey, but if you do, you'd rather tap it in.
Hoo-wee!
Yeah, I mess up my clean round there, but with how the hole went, happy to take a bogey and not a bigger number.
Yeah, and you stay at 7 under par. You're still, with 5 holes left, you have plenty of room to make a move. And it's going to be a double bogey 7 for Uli. Puts him to +3 on the round. Kind of takes him out of the race for the win.
Yeah, there's not he's 10 strokes behind Ricky now, so there's not much chance of a win for him. All he's thinking about is trying to salvage this round, see if he can get back under par.
Germ's going to take his second birdie in a row, moving to 5 under par, and he's going to tie Uli. And we move into the tight hole number 13.
479 foot, another tough par 4, even though it's shorter than you would typically see out on a tour event. Of the 479 feet, you've probably got 360 of it in the woods trying to hit this gap. If you can get out towards the edge of the woods and just have a little bit of trees to navigate at the end, that's the ideal play.
Here's Germ lining up some sort of hyzer flip sidearm. And so close to getting it to pop up all the way. He fades out just a bit right, and he'll be on the edge there.
Yeah, and it could be a tough lie from there. Even though he was just into the woods, you saw how thick it looked, and it's just as thick as it looks.
That's a pretty good kick from Ricky. He'll have at least some sort of backhand to the basket. And you have an opportunity to throw a long hyzer flip on this shot.
Yeah, I'm going with a pretty beat-in star wraith here. I was able to make it out of the woods the first round, and I just pull it off to the left here and kick into the middle. That's the tough play with going with a faster disc. If you don't hit the line, you could end up in a pretty tough spot.
Yeah. And Uli, known to throw the fastest disc in his bag on the tightest line on the course, is going with a nuke, it looks like.
Just a bit inside. What a great touch on the tree.
Yeah.
Ends up just about in the middle of the fairway, and he'll have a look to get out for his birdie.
And here's a patent pending from about I would say he's about 300 away from here.
And good double kick there. He was about to be in a lot of trouble over there on the left. He'll be able to get out and save his par from where he's at now. I'm trying to decide if there's anything I can do. I don't think there is. So I'm just having to pitch out here. I'm not really even going forward too much. And then I don't play the pitch out quite right either. I kind of put myself over on that left side.
Uli hoping to capitalize on this good break here. He's got a raptor in his hand. It's a good looking line. That's got to keep going. Perfect.
Yeah, after keeping in the middle, he shows you what it means to be in the middle. He was able to just get out there and put it right where you want since the hole's short enough. Tap in birdie.
Germ lining up his shot, checking the distance here. And he still looks like he has room to throw some sort of sidearm.
Yeah, if you get far enough up there, it's a little thinner, but the angle's kind of odd since you're off to the right. He's got it out there pretty good.
Wow, that's a fantastic shot from Germ.
Yeah, great shot. He'll be in circle too and have a look for the birdie as well. So lefty patent pending here after seeing Rick's from the right side. Got a Star Gator in my hand.
Wow, and you opted for the more overstable disc for the patent pending. That's a solid shot.
Yeah, I knew I had to get some left on it to miss that tree in the middle, and going with something less stable there is some OB on the left once you get out of the woods, so I wanted to make sure I had that stability.
Ricky puts his to about 15 feet.
And Germ with a birdie opportunity here after scrambling out of the woods.
Nice catch on the strong side of the basket. That's a birdie for Germ. 3 in a row. And like you said, whenever you get to lean over like that on a short putt, you know it's a good shot. Another birdie for you.
Happy to tap in the birdie after a bogey and then a not ideal tee shot. Able to save the par, trying to get it back together a little bit.
And Ricky is just not giving up. He moves to 28 under par.
All right, we're going down the right.
And Jerm and Yuli are now tied for third as well. Moving on to our first par 3 on the back nine, 325 feet. Another hole that's going to be ideal for the righty backhand. You want to push it out straight about 300 feet and then just let it fade up to the basket. There is a Mando off the tee that keeps you from going out left over top of the ball field. Germ getting up a little high here, and he hits that first branch. And you could hear him. He's never thought about that before. It's not something you really think about when you're wanting to hit the gap. You don't really look up too much. You're trying to push it straight. And Yuli has pushed his straight pretty well. He gets the skip up there.
That is a park job from Yuli. 2 in a row just from 10 feet. It's going to be another birdie for him most likely.
Fantastic shot. Rick probably going with a Firebird here. Something pretty stable. And he saws it off just a little bit, but gets around it, and he'll have a circle 2 look. I'm going back to the roller play here. With the low ceiling, it's hard to push something straight enough and then turn left.
And you got to lay this one down pretty early.
Yeah, and I've got this really flippy sidewinder, and it gets up and just starts hitting some bounce pads there. Starts bouncing up there. I get to right around 40 feet, which I am very happy with on this hole.
Germ going high around the outside with a flick. Puts himself to about circle's edge, it looks like.
And here I am checking the headwind, or finding out that it is a headwind that I'm putting into here.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, and that one felt great. I'd hit a little lull in my round, and definitely needed that one to try to keep myself going.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Great putt.
You can see me excited about it. Got the fist pump there.
And other than the bogey, you have a solid round going.
And Germ here trying to save the par. You can see the wind blowing all the branches around everywhere.
Great putt.
Yeah, absolutely. What a great par putt there.
Ricky with the wind blowing. Has about a 28-footer for the birdie. Cash.
Yeah, just sneaks it over that rim. Great birdie putt from him as well. You know Ricky's not one to get big putted, so.
Absolutely not, especially by the guy chasing him.
You can't forget about Yuli with his park job. Just tapping it in there, taking solo third for the moment.
And we're going to move into hole number 15, par 4, 522 feet, dog leg left. We're going to push through this low ceiling, this tight gap. And you really just want to get to the elbow at the least. And then you have a straight look at this basket. One of the more straightforward par 4s in the course.
Yeah, the hardest part about this one is hitting that gap off the tee. Once you get to that little uphill slope or the elbow where it dog legs to the left, it's not super far to the basket. So really just navigating this first gap right here. Yuli's a little bit inside and doesn't get up the hill. So there's a little gap he has in between that tree and the rest of that wood line that he may be able to sneak through.
That is an overstable destroyer from Ricky, I believe.
And getting up there on top of the hill.
It's a great shot.
Yeah, he'll have a wide open short look to the basket there. This looks like that star TL3. Just throwing it straight, getting up to that flat.
Yeah, great shot. I mean, as a lefty, again, another low ceiling bender to the left. Kind of not much you can do other than put it straight.
Yeah, but luckily with the design, with the well design of the hole, throwing straight still gives you a chance.
Exactly, yeah. Doesn't completely screw over the players that are throwing with that counterclockwise spin.
So able to go with a standstill AVR X3 here. There's some sand short of the basket. You got to make sure you miss. I miss off to the right rather than throwing it past it, but I still have a inside the circle look for my birdie there.
Germ bending one around the corner. A little bit low, just scrapes over yours. Another circle one putt. As you can see, pretty straightforward hole.
Yeah, Yuli making it a little more interesting over here, having to deal with some of the early wood line, but making it look easy, getting it closer than both of us. He'll have a tap-in birdie. And Ricky
Super smooth.
just tossing a little pig up there, AVR most likely.
And another birdie. That's 2 in a row. Moved to 9 under par for the round with 3 holes left.
Yeah, happy to get that one back. I feel like I'm back on track now.
There's a solid putt from Germ, moving to 7 under par.
And we've just got a couple tap-ins here now. Looks like we'll have a star frame on hole 15. So Yuli with 3 birdies in a row there after being 3 over. He gets back to even with 3 holes left. Hole number 16, 274 feet. It is a blind shot up and over this spine. Once you get to the top, it goes back down the hill, and then you want to fade off to the left, just in front or just around that last tree there. If you land short, it is kind of downhill on the green, so your putt moves a little bit faster, and it could leave a scary comeback.
And Yuli is going to be throwing little early. You heard him say, "Oh wow!" right after he threw it. He's going to be about circle 2 behind that tree. Not where you want to be.
And Ricky, this looks more ideal, pulling it off to the right, slow speed, just letting it fade. He said he landed here every time he played this course, just about 15 behind the basket.
Yeah, this hole actually shapes up for Ricky's style of throw very well. The flat, nose up kind of stall hyzer.
And even though I'm typically good with straight and turning left shots, something about this hole just gets me. I wasn't quite focused on this one and picked out a super strange disc. Didn't make any sense. I'm sitting there in circle 2. I might run my putt. We'll see.
We've all been there. Germ going with a little bit of a nose up hyzer flip with something a little bit less stable. Great shot from Germ.
Yeah, just misses that last tree. Gives it a bit of a look at the chains. Yuli here from outside the circle to go 4 birdies in a row.
Oh my gosh. What a putt from Yuli. Little spin putt, Annie.
Yeah, great comeback.
Yeah.
Comeback here from Yuli, facing 3 over par.
Just right of the basket. Germ cashes the birdie putt on the weak side. He's going to move to 8 under par for the round.
So even with my slow putt, I ran a little bit past the basket, but nothing too much to clean up for par. So proving the righty hole here, I decided to take the par and let the righties handle the birdies.
Exactly. And Rick is going to tap in his birdie. And with 2 holes left.
Yeah, pretty tricky hole 17 here. 304 feet. Another blind shot up and over this same spine, throwing back the other way. The basket is actually moved to about 6 feet off of that OB line and elevated. Any shot that goes OB plays to a 40-foot drop zone, looking straight at that OB.
Yuli tries going with that hard flip-up hyzer with a nuke, and that just clips a tree early on.
Yeah, pretty similar to hole 5, but shorter. This angle is you want to push it straighter than it looks like. If you just throw it on a hyzer the whole time, then you're not quite going to get there. Ricky sneaks through those middle trees and gives himself a kind of a less scary putt than normal, not directly at the OB.
We'll see if Germ can correct on Yuli and Ricky's mistake. And like you said, push a little farther forward with a little bit of flip before he starts fading.
And he's put that more on the straight hyzer that I was talking about, and a little bit too high.
So what's your correction here?
I've got my FD3 in my hand. I usually throw a gator, but I'm trying to get something a little faster just to go straight. And I've stood it up just how I wanted right there, pushed it straight. Missed those.
Great shot, man.
Yeah, missed those trees in the middle, and I'm able to give myself a pretty scary 25-footer.
Definitely with the OB directly behind the basket. Here's Uli with a straddle with a zone here. Just kind of chopping at it. And that's going to be no problem for Uli.
So Germ here, he's running the putt, skips off of the basket, and it does actually roll OB there.
Wow.
He did not know that any OB went to the drop zone. So Ricky here, no fear.
That pretty much is the dagger right there. He's been playing just so good after those bogeys that he took early on. Let's see that again. And look at this catch on the weak side as well. He has great speed on this putt.
Yeah, great putt from Ricky there. Just so much confidence.
Mm-hmm.
So after Germ finding out that he had to go to the drop zone, knew it immediately, cans the 4 that he was expecting to get either way. So way to calm the nerves there and hit that putt.
And you just keep going. Another birdie. You're in solid second place now.
And I think that's the first time I've gotten this birdie in the tournament before on this course, so that one felt pretty good.
Yeah, very specific shape for a par 3, and especially getting to watch 3 of the same mistake get made. Great correction. 18, 281-foot par 3.
Yeah, smaller gap to hit off the hole. One of the easier par 3s on the course to finish the round. Once you get through that gap, you just kind of got to fade off to the left a little bit and don't push too far, or you could have an obstructed putt coming back. And Ricky getting a little tricky kicky there and touching the inside trees and just parking it to finish the round. It didn't matter whether he kicked it or not, but just a solid way to finish the round either way.
What a way to cap it off.
Going with one of my stamped NQ Star Mako 3s here, trying to give it an ace run. Leave it just a little bit short, but I'll take the park job.
What a great round, man. Huge turnover under the basket. And Uli just really not feeling it all day. His drives were just always just a little bit off.
Yeah, he's been a little bit loose off of the tee here, either pulling it or inside, not able to quite find his rhythm.
Big turnover flick from Germ. It's actually a decent tree kick, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he was about to push long and probably have a bit of an obstructed putt, but now he's about 15, 20 feet.
And here's the get-out-of-jail-free card from Uli. Let's see what he's trying to do with it here.
Uli is 1 down at this point and needs to save this par to stay under par for the round. Going flick roller, moving the crowd. Fights back around, circles edge.
He even had to hyzer flip that into a roller. It still had to flip to roll, and he threw it about 2 miles an hour.
And here he is to save that par. Got a little bit of an anti-putt, which is great for him because he does it anyway.
Oh, let's go.
Drops it on in there. Great putt to finish the round. Bit of a rough round for him, but just saving that par, I know he's going to be happy to finish the round on a good note.
Germ gets the birdie. Yeah, Uli just never gave up, and he stayed in it and got 4 of the last 5 holes to finish the round.
And I come in 11 down, shooting the hot round for the day, chase Uli down, and able to take second place for the event. Ricky Wysocki, though.
There's no stopping him.
Yeah,
absolutely not.
He once he gets on a roll, there's not much you can do. Finishes with 5 birdies in a row to stamp his 6-stroke victory.
2020 Down East Players Cup, Ricky Wysocki.
That is a beautiful trophy.
Yeah, they've got all the past winners on there. from each division every year. So it's a cool thing they do down there in Greenville. Ricky Wysocki, 33 under, taking the win. Second place, myself at 27 under. Paul Ulibarri hanging on to third with that par putt. And Germ getting fourth place.
What a phenomenal final round. There you have it, folks. Ricky Wysocki is our champion. Thank you again for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe to Gatekeeper Media on YouTube. Again, I'm Brian Earhart, joined by Nathan Queen. We will see you next time.
We'll see you guys out there.